The story and the song. Introduction from Psalm 19 and Hebrews 1. The heavens are singing about how great God is, and the skies are shouting out. See what God has made. Day after day, night after night, they are speaking to us. God wrote, I love you. He wrote it in the sky, and on the earth, and under the sea. He wrote his message everywhere, because God created everything in his world to reflect him like a mirror, to show us what he's like, to make us know him, to make our hearts sing. The way a kitten chases her tail, the way red poppies grow wild, the way a dolphin swims. And God put it into words too, and wrote it in a book called the Bible. Now, some people think the Bible is a book of rules telling you what you should and shouldn't do. The Bible certainly does have some rules in it. They show us how life works best. But the Bible isn't mainly about you and what you should be doing. It's about God and what he has done. Other people think the Bible is a book of heroes, showing us people we should copy. The Bible does have some heroes in it, but as you'll soon find out, most of the people in the Bible aren't heroes at all. They make some big mistakes, sometimes on purpose. They get afraid and run away. At times, they're even downright mean. No, the Bible isn't a book of rules or a book of heroes. The Bible is most of all a story. It's an adventure story about a young hero who comes from a far country to win back his lost treasure. It's a love story about a brave prince who leaves his palace, his throne, everything to rescue the one he loves. It's like the most wonderful of fairy tales that has come true in real life. You see, the best thing about this story is it's true. There are lots of stories in the Bible, but all the stories are telling one big story. The story of how God loves his children and comes to rescue them. It takes the whole Bible to tell this story, and at the center of the story, there's a baby. Every story in the Bible whispers his name. He is like the missing piece in the puzzle, the piece that makes all the other pieces fit together, and suddenly you can see the big picture. And this is no ordinary baby. This is the child upon whom everything would depend. This is the child who would one day... Oh, but wait. Our story starts where all good stories start. At the beginning.
The beginning, a perfect home. The songs of creation from Genesis 1 and 2. In the beginning, there was nothing. Nothing to hear, nothing to feel, nothing to see. Only emptiness and darkness, and nothing but nothing. But God was there, and God had a wonderful plan. I'll take this emptiness, God said, and I'll fill it up. Out of the darkness, I'm going to make light, and out of nothing, I'm going to make everything. Like a mommy bird flutters her wings over her eggs to help her babies hatch, God hovered over the deep, silent darkness. He was making life happen. God spoke, that's all. And whatever he said, it happened. God said, hello, light. And light shone into the darkness. God called the light day and the darkness night. You're good, God said, and they were. Then God said, hello, sea, hello, sky, and a great space opened up, wide and deep and high. You're good, God said, and they were. Then God said, hello, land. And there, splashing up the oceans, came cliffs, mountains, sand, beaches. You're good, God said, and they were. Hello, trees, God said. Hello, grass and flowers and everything everywhere burst into life. He made the buds bud, the shoots shoot, flowers flower. You're good, God said, and they were. Hello, stars, God said. Hello, sun. Hello, moon. And whistling into the darkness came fiery globes, spinning around and around, whirling orange and purple, golden planets. You're good, God said, and they were. Hello, birds, God said, with a fluttering and flapping and chirping and singing, birds filled the skies. Hello, fish, God said, and with a darting and dashing and wriggling and splashing, fish filled the seas. You're good, God said, and they were. Then God said, hello, animals, and everyone came out to play. The earth was filled with noisy noises, growling and grumbling, and snapping and snorting, and happy skirfling. You're good, God said, and they were. God saw all that he had made, and he loved them. And they were lovely because he loved them. But God saved the best for last. From the beginning, God had a shining dream in his heart. He would make people to share his forever happiness. They would be his children, and the world would be their perfect home. So God breathed life into Adam and Eve. When they opened their eyes, the first thing they ever saw was God's face. And when God saw them, he was like a new dad. You look like me, he said. You're the most beautiful thing I've ever made. God loved them with all his heart, and they were lovely because God made them, and he loved them. And Adam and Eve joined in the song of the stars and the streams and the wind and the trees, the wonderful song of love to the one who made them. Their hearts were filled with happiness, and nothing ever made them sad or lonely or sick or afraid. God looked at everything he made. Perfect, he said, and it was. But all the stars and the mountains and oceans and galaxies and everything were nothing compared to how much God loved his children. He would move heaven and earth to be near them. Whatever happened, whatever it cost him, he would always love them. And so it was that the wonderful love story began.
Thank you, Miss Pat. So now, as we look at how the wonderful love story began, I want us to ask a couple of questions. So I'm going to ask you a question and then tell you to hit pause. I want you to talk about it with your family and then unpause, and I'll ask you the next question. So, what did we learn that God did? Hit pause. What do we know that God can do because of what he already did? Hit pause. So how do we behave differently since we know that God can do anything? Hit pause. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed your first 5 for family. That's actually going to be the longest video because it's both of us. Now your activity today is to build something that represents creation. We have a creative God and He's made us to be creative. So if you've got blocks, or if you've got Legos, or if you want to draw or paint, or maybe even want to act it out, dress up, put on the clothes, and act out the story that we just saw. You get to be what's created. So find some toys, get a couple minutes together, 5, could only see 4 fingers, 5, or act it out. Just go back through the story, make sure everybody understood what happened, and have a little playtime together. Again, welcome to 5 for Families. We're so happy you're here, and we hope you had a great time. Love you. See you next Wednesday.